Hello, everyone, and welcome to the episode 80 of the Office Hours podcast. We're here Friday evening
hmm
recording. Beautiful weather outside. I don't know how about you, but for me, it's pretty nice.
Yeah.
So, I don't
It,
know.
well, for me, the weather is not so good, but it's one of those ones where you wanna sit on the couch with a blanket and watch a really bad show. And just complain about it the entire time. Yeah.
That works too.
Yeah.
Do you have any examples? What would be a bad show you would complain about all the time?
Right now I'm watching The Rookie.
Is it the cop show?
Yeah, the cop show. It's not a bad show, but I feel like the main character, the rookie actually, sometimes I can see, when you watch like movies and then you can see the person literally acting. I mean, I get his acting, but I don't want to see you. I don't know how to explain it.
Is it trying too hard? It's not natural, right?
Yeah, sometimes I can really see it like you're reciting the lines from like the script or something like this. But yeah, but I'm also watching You, and I feel like maybe I would, You, right, on Netflix.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, shout out to these people. They should sponsor our podcast. They could sponsor.
Isn't it about some psychopath guy or I don't know?
Yeah, I'm on the
Yeah.
first season. Yeah. I mean, it's based on perspective. He's a
Mm,
psychopath or maybe an obsessive lover.
mm.
So,
I don't know
yeah.
which is better. Both are equally shitty, so.
Yeah, it
But
reminded me of Reindeer. I don't know if you watch a Baby Reindeer.
which one?
There's this show, Baby Reindeer. Reindeer?
Oh, Baby Reindeer. I think Masha watched it. I watched a little bit of it, but it's not really my cup of tea.
Yeah,
So,
I couldn't get
you
into it
know,
as well. But
weird codependent relationships is a bit
mhm,
too much. Like,
yeah, I don't
yeah,
even like love movies, love stories, but it's good for entertainment sometimes when you can
yeah,
complain
yeah.
about it the entire time and just like say whatever you want on your mind. You know what? I should stop ranting about this now before I start creating a new
Before
meme.
you really get into it.
Yep, yep,
We
because
do that too, you know. We would be watching a show and it's like, okay, the show's good, and then the character does something so
yeah,
ridiculous. You're
yeah.
like what? Who wrote
Exact,
this? Who wrote this? Like,
exactly,
are you serious?
exactly.
Yeah.
For example, in The Rookie, um, man, I feel like I'll be putting spoilers. Okay, no spoil. You know what? I keep my opinion to myself. If you
Okay.
want spoilers, because if someone who hasn't watched the show, yeah, we
Yeah.
just
Yeah.
we just move over. Anyway, this is
Yes.
the weather we have right now, but
For the raw and unfiltered spoilers, you'll have to join the Patreon. Maybe a
and
couple of years from now when it actually exists.
hmm exactly. That's the plan now.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
the plan.
Yeah,
How about you though?
I started watching Lazarus,
Ah,
which is like basically so far it feels like Cowboy Bebop 2.0 because it's the same I guess he was the director on Cowboy Bebop, but it's the same guy who did Cowboy Bebop a bunch of years back. And stylistically it's
mhm.
kind of very similar musically, like a lot of action. I only watched one episode so far, but it'd be
Ooh,
interesting to see
that's
where
the
it
beginning.
goes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Honestly, we should have an episode where we just talk about our favorite shows or the shows we watch it. That'd be probably nice. Do you watch like tech shows? I feel like one time, um, I have this friend who is works in medicine, and there was a question about like, oh yeah, like I think there's all this like medical TV shows like I don't
Like
know,
House and
you know
Grey's
that
Anatomy and all that kind of stuff.
exactly,
Yeah.
exactly. And then it got me thinking. I don't know any like I mean I know Silicon Valley, but there is not a lot of tech shows that gets my attention. Like maybe
You should check out *Halt and Catch Fire*. It's an older one,
yeah,
but the first couple of seasons were really good.
there is one that I watched like a while ago. I don't know this show, but there was one. It was a startup.
Hmm,
It was about a
probably heard
bunch of
about it,
it
but I haven't seen it.
was about a bunch of guys who were like trying to build a company and stuff like. And it was pretty interesting. Like I enjoyed this, but I don't know why my algorithm doesn't push anyone cause to me maybe I'm not googling a lot of what's that thing now? Stackoverflow? I imagine
Right.
like
Well, Stack Overflow, I saw some graphs recently. Apparently, they're dying. It's basically
Yep.
like the audience engagement is just like
Yeah.
off a cliff. Yeah, yeah,
We have Gen AI now.
yeah,
We have
yeah.
vibe coding now, Vasili.
Yes, the
But
vibe coding trained on all of those Stack Overflow answers, and now Stack Overflow, it's like the
yep.
future is now, old man.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, but I feel sorry for I mean, not like sorry,
Yeah.
but because I feel like they could sell their data and they would still be able I mean, they were around for a long time and like the data is I think so. But then again, um everything comes to there is always a trend. Maybe they could probably have their own AI. Who knows? Maybe they could have their own AI actually. You know what? I wonder if someone thought about that. Their own like co-pilot or something like this. Or maybe they already sold the
Yeah,
information.
but I don't know. It would feel like they're maybe a little bit too late to the game. Like they
They
were
have a
sitting on all
brand.
that data, but if they were first to come up with some sort of copilot type thing. But the thing is like their answers, they do feature code, but they also feature a lot of non-code. So I think like separating that, maybe, I don't know. But yeah,
Well,
it feels like they probably got scraped by somebody else before they realized that they should have turned that gold mine into their own LLM.
yeah, they really should have. But it's never too late. I was gonna say it's never too late. I feel like
Hmm.
you just need they already have a brand. Everybody knows Stack Overflow. And
Yeah, yeah,
it's not like they're starting with a weird name or something like this.
yeah. I don't know. I don't know if it'll be good for like general purpose coding because primarily the function of Stack Overflow is to help utter beginners. Because I mean, there are some questions that would be more esoteric, but for most part, it's like people asking either really, really simple question or like really, really, really quirky questions. So
Yeah.
mm,
Well,
it has a limited niche.
there is a lot they could do with it. I'm just thinking about it now. Like, I don't think they were just gonna close shop and just die. I feel like they'll probably transform. But
Well, I mean, they'll try pivoting a bunch of times, but I don't know, you know?
was that was I telling you about Glassdoor recently? I think Glassdoor was the one I was telling you. They really became a social media company. And
Yeah.
Stack Overflow could have done the same thing because it became a place where like people were not just asking questions now, like the people
Yeah,
were
but
actually
the
getting the conversations and
the
stuff
thing
like that.
is that Stack Overflow was basically overran by a bunch of nitpicky, pedantic assholes who would just like close everyone's questions for like
Yeah.
slightly off
Hmm.
formulation, or basically it's like a bunch of really like self-important douchebags who like actually, that type. So I don't,
I can
if
relate.
that was a social network, it would have been so I mean, it was kind of a social network because you could like leave
Exactly.
comments and you get like reputation based on your answers. So a lot of
Hmm.
people like reputation
I
grinding, and
wanted
like,
that. Yeah.
and it would have been so toxic, I think, if it turned into like a more of a social network rather than like a question answering site. I would not want to go. I mean, in fact, I don't go there, and I wouldn't want to go there. It's kind of
Honestly,
a dump.
I would have preferred it because this is what there is. I don't know. There is a whole niche on Twitter, tech Twitter, like this is pretty much like it. Like people go there to like brag about like their recent code or like something they do. Some people on tech Twitter don't even write
Hmm.
codes at all. At least this person is on Stack Overflow, so they probably know Stack Overflow from somewhere. So like there is a 10% chance that they know they probably write code. But on tech Twitter, I've met people who know nothing about coding who actually tweet every day about like something they do. But they really don't do it. But I was just thinking like if Stack Overflow could do something like this, they could actually compete with this niche of people and maybe have their own overflow tweet, overflow X. How would they even name it? What kind of name would they even give it if you want to make it like a
Over X slow.
you know what? Over Xlo. Nah, I don't think that would fly. I don't
Yeah,
know. Nah, that won't fly. But maybe we can get better ideas from
yeah.
from people.
I
But
don't know. I feel like it feels on one hand, like I don't have any particular sympathies for Stack Overflow. Not really.
Mm.
It wasn't really my formative community for becoming a software engineer, so I don't have any particular romantic notions about it. Like I used it a couple of times, but for most part, it's like if I find some answer, it kind of points me in some direction where I start digging, and
Mm-hmm.
then I kind of expand on it and find someplace else.
Yeah.
It just feels a little bit kind of, I mean, not a little bit. It's like very exploitative. Is that like all of their content like got vacuumed by these LLMs training, and now the site is
Mm.
dying. You know,
I don't know about that, Vasili. I don't
you
know
think
about that.
they like reached a partnership and like legit sold that stuff?
That's possible. I'm not gonna rule it out, but I don't know about like them using um you know what? I think they probably sold it. There is this Gen AI. I'm making it very allegedly. You know what? This is
Right,
just
but like even if they sold it to like one AI,
yeah,
everybody else that they didn't sell it to still scraped the hell out of it, I imagine. And
allegedly,
you know,
allegedly, because there is this one called Black Box AI or something like this. I remember when it first came out, I was trying it out, and legit the answer was actually Stack Overflow. They would actually tell you
because
Stack Overflow.
remember how many websites would do like SEO, black SEO optimization, and they would just straight up rip off content from Stack Overflow, but like serve it on their own domain with like a bunch of ads on it because it has like good keyword penetration. That is like version 2.0 of doing that, is like training an LLM on it without like, and just using all of that content essentially for free. Because
Yeah,
I think that a lot of these things, in terms of how they acquired their data, I'm pretty sure a lot of it was pretty shady.
you know
Like,
what? The only thing I would say is that I think for the LLMs, the good ones, I think there is a lot of other sources of data. For example, I don't think Microsoft or GitHub Copilot, for example, probably needs Stack Overflow for anything because we already put all our codes on GitHub anyway. So
well, yeah,
like,
yeah, fair enough. Like, no, it's not that everybody needed to use it, but it's a pretty juicy
yeah, I don't
chunk
even know
of
if it's that
content.
juicy. Honestly, it's juice, but I wouldn't call it like very juicy. I would just put it like bare juice.
I think because a lot of it I think is written kind of by hand, like it's an actual
Which sometimes doesn't
handwritten
work.
content. No, but I mean, I'm saying that, if LLMs train on results of some other algorithmic production, they usually turn to shit, right? So it's better if it's like an authentic written by
Mm.
human text for it to be more
Mhm.
sane. And I think on that alone, it probably was a better source of content. Because like modern copywriting on websites, like these days, I started to see like people who write posts, and it's like, okay, it's clear that GPT wrote this post, right? So
Well,
it,
but that's the thing. There's a lot of forums too. There's the thing is, I know they probably sold it, but I just don't think that they have enough to be proud, like to say like they can, like other like ChatGPT learned from Overflow. For example, there were other forums where people could ask questions, and there's a lot of blogs, and also there are like docs. I guess maybe ChatGPT should
yeah,
hire
yeah,
them
yeah.
some
No,
like
they definitely do that. I think there's even some
yeah,
specific format that you can
yeah,
expose on your docs so that it's more easily processable by LLMs. I know
yeah.
that some
See,
of the libraries that I use, they like publish it at specific URL, and then the LLM can go and
you
ingest it
see.
in like an LLM compatible format.
Mm-hmm. Ooh.
But yeah, I mean, fair enough. But I don't know. It's just the nature of the thing. The old thing gets killed by the new thing, and then the new thing is sitting there feasting on its corpse for a couple of years, and then the cycle continues. So that's fine.
Yeah. Would you train your own LLM though?
No, why? Like, what would I train it on? Like, what? I still don't know what goals I'm trying to for it to achieve.
Something.
Yeah. I mean,
Something.
like, a couple episodes ago, I think I had declared that I'm now officially old because it feels like for
Ooh.
some things I don't even want to try. I don't get it. I don't get it anymore. Like, what would I need an LLM for to train it myself? Like, I don't think that I can train one from scratch because that requires a lot of compute. And to just parameterize and tune some other LLM, like to do what? I don't know.
Anything. You could make it to find you the best movies that you like, or train it to give you recommendation, or you could even train it to write music for you. You know,
Why would I want it to write music for me?
it's just I'm just giving you ideas. What
No, no,
would
no.
you
I
like?
get that, but like in the world of derivative things, why would I want to subject myself to more derivative things instead of original things?
That's the thing. I feel like um you have not really let yourself open to the beautiful things that AI can do for you. I feel
What, like 25th billion Ghibli studio picture converted from someone's photo that they all look
think,
the same?
think about it
It's
this way.
it's cute.
Think about
I
it.
mean, poor Hayao Miyazaki, I know that he's not dead yet, but if he was, he'd be rolling in his grave so fast because of that. Like, man, what an insult to the guy. Imagine, just imagine. He spent his entire life sweating, drawing these animations frame by frame, like millions of them, the
Mhm,
amount of effort it takes. And
mhm.
then some schmuck comes in and just like barfs out a replica of that is like very close, that is recognizable. The guy
I'm
spent
glad
his
you said
entire
that.
life doing it.
You
Like,
see?
how insulting would that feel to him?
Listen,
He
this is
probably wishes that he died 10 years ago not to witness any of that crap.
what can I say? Vasili, what can I say? It's life, and I'm really opening myself up to it. Like the thing is, you can argue that when it came out first, like, I think 2 years ago when we were first talking about this, I remember we had a conversation about, was it 2 years now? I think it
It
was
was
about
probably close to
yeah, two
years,
years
yeah.
ago we were talking about AI, and I was telling you like one day, oh yeah, true, it was about 2 years ago because I remember I think you were traveling at the time. Anyway. So you said it was going to go away. It was a new thing, and new shiny thing in tech that will probably go away. But over time, it has started to like help a lot of people in different things. There is a good side to it, and there is not so good side to it, which we can argue about. But I think there is creativity. But there also, like, if you are not allowing yourself to learn while you use it, this is where you start to lose the benefit from it. But if you know what you're trying to do, these tools help you to do what you're trying to do even better. Do you not agree?
Alleged. That's what people say. I haven't experienced it yet myself. Maybe it's like finally, caving in and spending the money on the new mattress, and it's like, why didn't we do it before? Maybe.
See, one day.
But I just don't know.
By
I
the way,
guess right now I'm not
mhm.
really in a state to contemplate these things. I need a vacation, it feels like. Because the thing is, okay, so my big problem is that
Uh-huh.
a lot of people don't understand what
Mhm.
they're doing without an AI, and then you give them AI and they understand even less. Because not only they before they weren't able to explain their own reasoning about
Mhm.
why they were doing certain things, and
Mhm.
now they have AI doing those things for them. So it's like 2 degrees removed from being able to adequately articulate what the hell's going on, and like that's not necessarily good. Like, they're lacking fundamentals, so they don't know what's going on.
This you see, this point probably, but it depends. Like, let's not focus just on like there is a lot of things that AI can do for you. If you are speaking of it in just in context of like coding or like stuff like this, you could say a few things. But then again, there is this argument like if you walk a particular path 10 times, you probably um know how this, like, you probably know everything on this path at some point.
Yeah,
So
but if you drove 10 times to some destination using Google Maps, you probably still don't know how to get there without it.
you
Like,
probably
just think
do.
about it.
No, you probably do. You have an idea of how to get there. An idea
Uh,
is usually, maybe as I remember before Gen AI, I remember like it's not usually like, oh, you crammed every method and every array functions or something in the world. Sometimes we still end up going to Google these things anyway. And that's how we end up on like forums like Stackoverflow to see some issues and like how to do. So we still do some type of research
Right, but you put in effort. And you know that
to do research.
anything you obtain without putting in effort, you're not going to value. Like the parable of not valuing something you get without an effort is as old as humanity itself. And now we've been given the ultimate thing that gives us things without effort. I mean, sure, there's some degree of prompt engineering, I guess, but again, that's for sophisticated. The basic people will
Mhm.
just type whatever and copy paste the result and never think about it twice and never learn anything out of it. At least that's how I see it. I could be cynical about it, but
No, I
so
don't think
far,
so. Honestly, I don't think so. I feel like even if you don't learn it, but if you use it to solve the same problem over and over again, at some point, the only thing
but
is,
you're not solving the same problem over and over again. That would be cruel.
no, like let's say I'm saying like let's say you wanted to write you a component or something like build you like an API for something, and then you see the steps you took to actually. The only thing is, we're getting to the point where like we're not even doing copy and paste anymore. They are now starting to have like agents. So these agents actually like write the code. Like I was reading about Codex. This is from um, ChatGPT. Codex literally writes all the code for you. You don't even have to.
So
You
who
just
needs you? Like, what are you doing in that equation?
yeah, I'm the one vibe coding. I'm the guy who is telling Codex what to do. So I'm happy to use
So
Codex.
if we have an LLM to tell other LLMs what to do, and it's just
Uh-huh.
gonna be it's gonna be LLMs all the way down. Like, who needs people? I
Vasili,
don't think that
people
that's
will
gonna
still be.
happen.
I think people will still be needed,
But
maybe
the
in a
thing,
different
okay,
context, but I feel like we
think
still be
think
needed.
about it this way. We had a conversation recently
Hmm.
with like a director level guy at my organization, and he's basically very gung ho on AI, and he's like, okay, everybody must use AI. We know that AI can give people 30% to 40% boost in their productivity. First of all, I don't know how they measure that exactly. Like, what constitutes 30% boost in productivity? Like, you really need to understand what you're measuring to even make a claim like that. Because if it's like, if I give like a really poor example, but it's like if we measure the productivity by counting lines of code, everyone can trivially improve their productivity by just outputting more garbage, right? So that's a poor
Hmm.
metric. You know what I'm saying?
I
But
get
what
it.
I'm getting to is that now with the availability of AI, they just expect a 30 to 40% increase in productivity for people across the board. So it's not like now the expectation is still the same and you can use AI to explore and leverage all of these things to learn. Now it's just like, oh, AI helps you to cram more shit in the same amount of time, and you're just gonna be even more stressed because that the expectation is 40% more. And if AI is not providing for you, they're saying, well, we know that AI gives you that 40% boost, so how come you're not having it? It's gonna be
Honestly,
terrible.
I see your point and I see where you're coming from, yeah. But let's put it this way. Before we had like Google, I think Google was also like, I don't know, how old is Google now? Like before we had Google and like the search engines, most times research was done in a library. People go to the library to actually like
But
find
the
books.
library didn't do the research for you. It was just a place to be, and Google was a place to be. AI is
Okay,
not a place to be. It gives you stuff, right?
I'm getting somewhere. I'm getting
Okay.
somewhere.
Okay.
So like people go to like the library to actually like do their research. So then you go, you find all the books and all the resources or whatever you would need to do your research to study something. Then we started having like search engines that helps us to do the compilation of all the research. So instead of going to the library, now you have like URLs to all the sources, like resources that you would have gone to the library to actually go look for. So you have resources now. So we went from there to actually like having like libraries, like where we actually go to like find answers to something, certain things. And now we have in a place where like the technology has moved, it's not giving you, I mean, you know how it works. Like it's not because like you know how AI, the whole science, the computer science behind like artificial intelligence and machine learning and these kind of things. Like there is a process to it. So like now we have gotten here. And I feel like here we are, although ideally maybe one could say it could probably be a reason why companies like Microsoft and like these big tech companies are like doing a lot of like downsizing now because they feel like they could probably like use more less resources to achieve more out. I don't know, but then again, why not do more instead of reducing your resources? So I don't know. Maybe there could also be financial situations
I
there,
think they're just different things,
but
right? It's
it
like,
helps.
no, I understand that it helps. I'm not arguing the fact that it does help in some degree, but I feel like it robs you of your own growth in a lot of ways. You're not learning as much as you would have. Well, depending on how you use it. Like if you use it
Exactly my
specifically,
point.
but the thing is that the company is not paying you to learn with ChatGPT. They pay you to produce widgets with ChatGPT at 40% premium to your productivity. So you're not learning shit. You're just copy pasting between the two windows as fast as you can. I don't think that is exactly the same,
Is your
right?
company creating like in-house AI? Because like,
No. They're running like some cloud offering from somewhere. The thing is like for most companies, they really care about like source code and privacy and whatnot. So
okay.
you can't use public AIs,
Mhm,
but they
mhm.
pay cloud providers for isolated instances of AIs. But it's the same idea. You just get like Gemini with whatever or whatever it is. I don't really know.
Yeah, but what I'm trying to say now is that, I mean, I get your point, and your points are valid. It's just like there is nothing we can do. Before now, people could say, "Why do we have phone books? Why?" Because when you could like literally like
How
keep
many phones do you remember now with
phone
the
numbers.
advent of the address book in your phone?
I
How many
mean,
phone numbers do you remember, like your parents' phone number?
I
I,
do.
I don't. And
Well,
I used to remember everybody's phone numbers before, like when I had the rotary
hmm
phone,
hmm
I remembered everybody's phone numbers, and now I don't have to, so I don't. So same thing with AI. I don't have to, so I don't. That's the whole point. I don't have to learn how it's done, so I don't learn.
Well, we also had like firewood, like you could boil your water with like wood in the fire. That was manual. We knew how to like go to the bushes to get the logs, and like we do exercise. You see, tech will move, Vasily. One
No,
day.
but okay. Using your example, have you seen Wally the movie?
No.
You ha- Jesus Christ, Bo. Like, how can I culturally connect with you if you haven't seen anything that is relevant? Like, Jesus freaking Christ.
But you know what? I'll do my assignment. I put it down on the list of movies I should watch.
Okay,
Wiley.
you've been putting stuff on the list of movies you should watch for the last 2 years. You still haven't watched a single one of them, so I don't even
You
believe
know
that that's
what?
gonna
No, no,
happen.
no, no, no. I'm okay. I would watch Wiley. Can I find it on Netflix?
I don't know if you can find it's a Disney Pixar movie. I think it's probably on Disney Plus, if of all things.
My bad. My bad. I'm gonna watch Wiley. Okay. What about Wiley, basically?
Well, the point is that like it's the future, and everybody is like flying around in those hover chairs, and everybody's
You
fat,
told me about it. Yeah.
and they all just like sit and eat and drink and watch into a screen, and they fly around because they don't have to do anything. Like robots do everything for them. They turn into these blobs that are completely deferred all aspects of their existence to external things. And if I don't know, if you want for some external entity to have that much control over what you are, be my guest. I just don't want to subscribe to that philosophy. I have different ideas about this thing.
You know what? I'm not. Everything I've been saying is not because I don't agree with you, though. I just to make it clear, like I agree with you. The only reason why I feel like this is I also try to see the good side of it. Because For many years, I have been against social media. I feel like there is a good side of it, and then there is a lot of negative sides to it. I feel like it has changed the way people relate, and there are sides of technology that I don't really agree with. But in this particular one, I don't see it going away. So instead of us fighting it, I would rather try to see how it can help me, or like help me. For example, in my organization, like we don't really like have like Gen AI, but in my personal project, the personal work that I do, I mean, it helps me to reduce a lot of like
No,
research
I'm
time.
fair enough.
Yeah,
I'm not
so
saying I'm not saying that like I guess the analogy that just came to my mind is like a lot of college kids probably thought that like Adderall is a really great thing to help them study, which it probably is early on, but it does have its costs and consequences. We haven't seen the consequences so far because it's so new. I mean, we're now like okay, social media has been around for like a decade, right? And we're now seeing the consequences. And I bet a lot of people early on probably had some thoughts about where it's likely going to go, and nobody listened to them because they said, oh, look at how great this thing is, right? Because no one, everybody
mhm.
is has like this rose tinted glasses about new shit, and everyone's very optimistic, and like fair enough, it's probably better to be optimistic about these things rather than be an old grumpy elderly person such as
Yeah.
myself that constantly shits on everything. But like now
Yeah.
we're actually seeing the unfortunate tragic
Mhm.
consequences of social media
Yeah.
in so many domains of our society. And I was not particularly big on social media back then. Like I used Facebook for a couple of years and then I deleted it. And you know, you kind of start seeing the patterns sort of repeat themselves, not exactly in the same way, but it's like I think I said it before is that we were thrown into this technical revolution and we're trying to kind of override 10,000 years worth of cultural programming in a matter of decades, and it's just not working for us. And I think that this thing is exacerbating like social
Mhm.
networks and that stuff did a lot of damage over a decade. This thing is going to do a lot of damage over a course of like a couple of years. I'm pretty sure.
I
Even with
mean,
all of the benefits, like social networks also provide some benefits, right? But I don't even know at this point what they are. You know, like what
I
can you
mean,
achieve with
I mean,
just simple messaging?
no, no,
Like
no, it's not.
what do you even need the Facebook for or Instagram
Okay,
or like all of
okay,
these things?
okay, I could tell. I mean, I don't, but maybe like personally, I really, honestly, I'm not against it. I'm just not a fan of social media. But some benefit could be like in the way life is going nowadays, a lot of people don't even have a lot of time to spend. And this is
But is it a cause or is it an effect?
it's a cause, it's a cause. Like I was just going to say, like I feel like the way, for example, today I was talking about it wasn't today, yesterday, I was talking about how some of us might have to work for a long period of time to consider retirement. And like it's just like a lot of things. People are busy doing a lot of things. And
But
you
like
do,
again,
you don't
we
have
take
like
okay,
go
go
on.
ahead, sorry.
We don't
I'll try
have
to
the
remember what I was going to say, yeah.
uh, well, I was just gonna say we don't have a lot of time to go out and actually socialize like we used to before. There were things that were just okay that you could
So
just
basically, instead of questioning why that is, we take the substitute ersatz form of socialization and just call it a day and think that it's a good thing.
this is how it
So it's like
started.
I haven't seen my friends in person in months, but I see their posts on Facebook, so that's okay, I guess.
Did you see? Let me. This is the story of how social media. Like this is the story I kept. I think um when Facebook started, I think before Facebook there was one high five or something like this. I don't remember. Anyway, there were a lot of them. But when Facebook started, the idea was like it helps you to connect with your old friends, like people you haven't seen in a long time. So like you get to see these people, you talk to them, share like information. Oh, long people you haven't seen in a long time. It wasn't like, oh, now everyone is glued to it. And over time, it wasn't just about people that you haven't seen in a long time. Now you want all your classmates on there, and like you just follow everybody you know.
Why? Why though? You probably haven't seen a lot of these people for a long time for a good reason. It's like, why do you want to bring all of that back into your life? If you really want to know how they're doing, like, go and talk to them. Anyway, that's
Yeah, but
again, you can't put that particular cat back in the bag. It's out.
no, it's out. So
But
that's how it
again,
started.
I like, you know, the how it started, how it going meme.
Yeah,
I don't
but
think it's going really great, to be
this is
honest with you.
because of like, so everything starts with good intentions, and when it
Yeah,
starts becoming
the
like,
road to hell is
no,
paved
no,
with good
everything starts with
intentions.
good intentions, and then at some point there's the business side of it, and the business side of it becomes more important than the intention, really. So now the intention was for us to keep socializing, but now they want to sell you something. So they have to find a way to get you to stay more on the app. So for you to stay more on the app, they started paying people to create some content to be able to engage you to stay more and watch more stuff. Or like just be there, because so now on Instagram there was like a lot of people who, I mean, there are people who are actually paid content creators. They create content for you to come and watch, and sometimes this content is not even genuine, it's not good, it's not true sometimes, so but you consume it anyway, and like over time it starts to like build your character and build how you see life, and they feed you the ones that you actually engage with. So this is it. There is like the business side of it. This is what I said, like there is the intention, and then there is the business. Over time the business overrides, corrupts the intention. It's this is everything about capitalism. And when we if you put like any form of other technology is like this, there's any other for TV is this, just regular
Yeah, I haven't watched
TV.
TV in like 20 years,
We just used
so
to turn on the TV and just enjoy TV. Now you can't even watch a few minutes without ads, or like somebody trying to keep record of the channels that you watched so that they can sell you something or whatever, like, you know.
dude, the first time I saw ads on TV, I was shocked. I was like, what the fuck is this? What the hell is this
Yeah,
bullshit? Why are they interrupting my enjoyment of a
you
movie
know
to
what?
show me some stupid crap?
It's a today I was listening to Spotify. Apparently, I haven't had a Spotify subscription for a while because I moved to a different platform.
Hmm.
And today, someone sent me a list. I was on Spotify. I couldn't even listen to two songs in peace. There was three ads, not even one. YouTube even used to have two, but now Spotify is three ads. I forgot the song I wanted to listen to anyway. Like now I'm doing something else, but it's just like this.
I guess maybe there is a
And
reason to use ChatGPT to make your own music, because at least that. But the
you
thing
see,
is, okay, so the new thing that they're like promoting is that it's gonna embed ads in the kind of stuff that the LLM will give you as results for your prompts.
I won't be
You
surprised.
wait.
I
The
won't be
ads are
surprised.
gonna appear in what it tells you. So yeah, it's gonna be a hell on earth, and
I have my genuine concerns about these things. My concern is like, after right now the intention is for it to help you with a lot of things, but I was reading a report, it wasn't a report, it was like an interview from Sam Altman, and it was saying like Gen Z's or like younger people now, they don't even make decisions without asking ChatGPT first. So now if you we get to the point where like these things know so much about you. So right now we're not even trying to like hide our data anymore. You know, gone are those days where we be like, oh yeah, I don't want my data to be anywhere. I want to keep my information. But voluntarily submit this information to ChatGPT. Probably knows more about you than anyone else now. So like, if one day the government requests for this information, now they control all of us because they know everything. You can't delete it, you can't run away from it. It knows everything. So yeah, this is the point
so
where I'm worried about.
even from the resiliency perspective, it's such a risky gamble
Mhm.
what people are doing now, because I don't know, a massive solar flare EMP wipes out a bunch of data centers, and then nobody knows how to do anything, and civilization is over as we know it.
Well, we start from the beginning. So now we all don't know. It's not like some people know, some people don't. We all don't know. This is
It's like
cool.
that joke, when they just built
You know?
the Great Hadron Collider. Somebody said a joke. It's like every 6.5 billion years, scientists celebrate by building a hadron collider. So I
We're
don't know.
back
I
in.
don't know which iteration of civilizations we're currently in. Maybe it's not the
Yeah,
first time that happened. We've built the AI, and then AI subsumed us, and then something happened, and everybody died.
exactly.
The end.
Exactly. Maybe this is just like episode, penultimate episode before you know, the new cycle starts. So
Yeah.
who knows? Honestly, the only thing is, I would rather prefer to focus on how it can help me than to focus on like because there's nothing you can do. We have gotten to the point where like this is some people's business now. And
I
once it
don't
gets to
know.
that point, capitalism has taken over.
I think a lot of these things really depend on political will. Saying that we can't do anything about it, it's like, well, what can we do about anything then? Like we're still able to do things about other things, It just
Do,
nobody's willing to.
do you know how many cases of um, mental image um, abuse that happens on like on social that's reported from social media?
Oh,
Really?
absolutely. Absolutely,
Do you
yeah.
know how many people actually need go through like mental illness just from being on social media, like whatever
Yeah.
happened to them?
Yeah,
The
but
government is
that's
not
why
gonna
the
close it because of
they
this.
I mean, if they wanted to do what's right for their people, they probably would have. I think
Well,
in the states, actually, some states are considering limiting access to social media to people like below age of 15 or something like that, which would be a good thing.
I don't even know how this will happen because maybe it can happen from like a phone technology part of it because
I guess in terms of enforcing it, it opens up more problems potentially that it
exactly,
solves.
exactly.
But as you said yourself, it starts with good intentions. So
Yep, it starts with everything. Every tech starts with good intentions, but then it becomes a business. The moment it becomes, and right now, that's where we are. It's a
I think
business now.
we're firmly in a stage where I don't even know. There's probably like hundreds of individuals who are doing shit for fun. Most people are in entrepreneurial mode. They're like intending it as a business right from the start.
Hmm.
Before they even built anything, they're thinking about how to sell everyone's data and monetize it. So the incentives are so perverse. You know.
Honestly, I don't know. Sometimes I'm afraid of this. Like, I'm
Well,
afraid of.
GG, I'm depressed now. So
But the thing is, that's why I was asking you if you would build your own. At least if you have your own hosted on your own server and like your own stuff. So you can tell like whatever information you're sharing or you're like, you don't
yeah,
want
no,
at
I mean,
least.
I do have that. I do have like an LLM running on my network.
Oh,
I'm
you
just not
do?
using it. I tried using it a couple of times.
Okay.
Like even yesterday, what's this plugin for VS Code that I use for whatchamacallit? You can like basically inject code through LLM into your editor.
Interesting.
It's actually what's it called? Oh, it is Continue. It's Continue, but it's running on a local
Interesting.
server. It's like running with Olama, and I'm
Oh,
using Llama 2.3, I think. But
you,
the kind of stuff it's producing is garbage. It's like
yeah,
literally garbage.
yeah, because it's not smart enough to know all this yet. So you can continue to train it until it's no longer spitting garbage. It could take you a long time though, but
But
well,
we talked about it. Train it on what? What am I supposed to train it on? They already trained it on everything that's accessible for them to train it on. So anyway, I don't want to revisit that particular conversation. The one cool application of AI or machine learning that is gonna come out pretty soon that I'm excited about
hmm.
is actually so I mentioned a couple of times that I play Finals, the video
Yeah,
game.
yeah.
So the company that's making the finals, Embark, they're building a different game, the
Mm-hmm.
same studio, called Dark Raiders, and I think it's about to be released in a couple of weeks, hopefully. And they've used machine learning. It's like this PvPvE, so like player versus environment type extraction shooter, where it's some sort of dystopian future, and the surface of the planet is inhabited by hostile robots, and then survivors live underground, and they make sorties to the surface to like gather resources and fight robots in themselves in the process, right?
Okay.
But
Mm-hmm.
they've basically trained the robots to do everything through machine learning. You know how in most games, like if you have a robot, somebody animated how its limbs move, and they have like animation sequences for
Okay, I
like
see what you mean.
going, turning, jumping, doing all of those things. And then the script inside just plays out these different things. But
Okay.
for Arc Raiders, those robots were actually doing like generational training. They actually trained them to traverse terrain, to jump, to move, to do all
See,
of these things.
that's a good thing.
And so now these guys are crazy unpredictable and like super fluid. But the thing is like in the video game, they have a possibility of training these robots on people's actions,
Mm-hmm.
so that as the seasons of the game progress, the robots get like more sophisticated and more unpredictable. And then they get bought out by Pentagon, and 5 years later, we have Skynet, and those robots that were trained on video game are like murdering us in the street.
Or you just made it dark. I was enjoying the plot. Like
No, but like, I mean, that's one of the consequences of this technology now, is that, uh,
it's
I
a
don't know how much you
business.
follow like modern conflicts, but like the drone warfare is pretty horrifying.
Oof.
And drone warfare paired with AI is essentially game over, I think. At least with the current state of affairs. So yeah, we opened that Pandora. We opened so many Pandora's boxes in
Yep.
like the last 30 years
Yep.
that I don't even know how we are still around yet, and it hasn't ended in some sort of nuclear Armageddon, to be honest with you.
It's just gonna take one angry person to piss off the wrong guy. Like one person just piss off the wrong guy, and that's it. We're all gone. And Vasili,
Like
the
once we
amount.
progress into like nanotechnology or something of that nature, I don't know if it's scientifically possible. I know that sci-fi likes to go into that direction, but
Mhm.
scientifically it may not be possible. But if it is, like some sort of, you know, anyway, if you watch Silo, they kind of go into that to some degree.
Well, the only thing is, before that time comes, I'm not gonna live my years expecting it to happen because now sometimes I just think about it like right now there is a country who has like access or authority authoritarian, I don't know, whatever. Like the US, they have,
Mm-hmm.
if you have Facebook, you have um whatever social media you have, I think is mostly from the US anyway. And um now you have ChatGPT. And this is even worse. Like there is already Google, which is everyone uses, the whole world uses Google Chrome, you know? Look at how much information these people already have about you.
Yeah, because
And
Mozilla is one of the reasons everybody's using Google Chrome is because Mozilla is fucking retarded. Pardon my French. They like squandered, absolutely squandered what they had, and so many open source
yeah,
projects are following the suit.
yeah.
They're just doing absolutely ridiculous things. They had so much potential, and they're like, "Oh yeah, we're gonna turn into an ad network." Browser? What browser?
But
Terrible. Absolutely terrible.
and all of this information is we are willingly giving it out. Like
Yeah.
this is not even like I think a few years ago Facebook was doing this trend, like your picture right now, your picture 10 years ago, and it was like a social engineering thing, and like every so they just to
Oh, like
get
yeah, everybody submit your face so we know what you look
literally
like.
we know what you look like. So it was trending,
Yeah.
everyone did this. So now they don't even need to do this anymore. Like they have So much data point. Your Instagram feeds, your Facebook feeds, your even the news you listen to.
Yeah,
Like
I believe that I have a solution to this.
we go to the woods. You live in the
No. I mean,
woods.
that's one option, but it's kind of hard to do. I think a better option is to declare a technocratic end of the world and start a cult and have a good time.
No, thank you. Because this is
No,
another.
like, but you get to be the cult leader, though. You get to be the cult leader.
Well,
So
I
you get all of
know,
the perks, the women, the money.
I know it doesn't go well. This is where I said no, thank you. Because
But I mean, it's not gonna, like, in this frame, it's all going to shit anyway.
well,
Technocratically, some explosion. So we might as well have some fun prior to that,
you know
and
what?
enjoy ourselves.
I mean, it could be an option, but I think starting a cult for this will probably lead into something else. Because yeah, now you're responsible for all these people who think you know what you're doing, but you really don't know what you're doing.
But you
And
can
what
ask ChatGPT what to do under the ground.
Well, you know what? Honestly,
Again, I'm gonna mention a movie that you probably haven't seen, but it was Surrogates with Bruce Willis, where there's these like androids that you can control remotely. So everybody's using those robots to like interface with one another, and they themselves just sit like with the virtual headset on their face at home. And there's basically this. It's a very old movie, so I'm not spoiling anything. Everyone who saw it already saw it.
fair
I don't know. Do you intend to see it?
Surrogate. I'm putting it down on my list. I'm making a list, Vasili. I'm telling you, I will
Okay, I'm
be a
gonna
better
quiz
person.
you. I'm gonna quiz you next time.
I'm good. You say, wait, surrogate. Is it Wiley? There's another
Wally,
one.
Surrogates,
Wiley.
Office Space.
Yeah. I'm making mental notes.
Okay, at least those three. At least those three. Come on.
Deal. We have a lot of
It's
witnesses now.
it's like maybe 4 or 5 dinner in a movie. You
I'm
can watch
putting
them
it
with your
down.
girlfriend.
Surrogate, Wiley, and then you mentioned one now.
Office Space. Office
Office
Space. You
Space.
have to watch Office Space.
Okay. Surrogate. Okay. I got it. I'm gonna watch because now I feel like I need to get all these references too. Yeah, deal.
Sick reference, bro. Your references are on point.
Deal.
That was a reference from another movie, but I actually don't remember what it was. Okay, well, I think we're gonna finish here. And for everybody who would join my cult, let me know in the comments. I'll be a benevolent-ish leader.
I don't know if you should start a cult, Vasili. I don't know. Cults don't usually go well. The leader dies and everyone else gets to. Why would the leader die?
Well, they either get shot by the FBI or they like drink poison or some stupid crap like that.
The leader is always the one who dies first. Think about it.
But before they do, they have access to so much.
Yeah.
You can be as hedonistic as you want.
But this only lasts for like what, 1 year tops.
Okay, actually, I don't know. What's the average lifetime? Because there are some cults around that are like still around for a long time. I think if you're a cult that like where all the members are miserable, it can go for a really long time. Because for some reason people like being miserable. But if it's like hedonistic cult, those tend to end pretty fast. I think people just look at it and they get jealous. They're like, "Fuck that guy. Let's end this. He's having way too much fun over there. We can't allow that."
You see, this is how it happens. Then the FBI, member starts fighting, and now they start looking into you. Maybe I watch too much movies. For example, there's one in The Rookie too. It's the leader dies first, so I don't want to die before.
I guess we have to combine the cult and going in the woods, so at least it'll take them a few years to find you, so you can prolong your leadership.
Fair enough.
Be an exalted great leader.
Fair enough.
You get to think about like dress code and titles. It's exciting, I think it's a fun thing to
I'll take my chance with ChatGPT. I'll take my chance with ChatGPT. Yeah, at least enjoy it before it becomes the villain.
Okay, maybe instead of a cult, it could be a secret order tasked with preserving human knowledge in case of technocratic
we should
apocalypse.
Put disclaimer here. We are not actually planning to do it. Are you,
Am I? Sign up for the cult in the comments, folks. Have a great day. Bye.
Bye.